Okay. Thank you, everybody. We're going to do our talking in the middle of the room here because we have our activities today, and we want to make sure the camera is showing for our at-home participants as well. So I want to welcome everybody this afternoon to our Love Yourself event. We always title that because it's around Valentine's Day. And it's not just about telling other people that we love them, but we need to love ourselves too. So we're super excited. The Student Support Committee who's sponsoring this to bring 4 different types of healing practices to all of us today. So we've got a great turnout in the room, great turnout online. As always, we're really excited too, because we get to have representation from all of our different programs. So it doesn't matter if you're undergrad or graduate, nursing, PTA, radiography, community health, psychology, studies, everybody in between, everybody gets to come together. And we also have a lot of support here online in the room from our faculty and staff, which is amazing because this is a community here at Clarkson College. So today, what I want you guys to be thinking of as we go into these activities is for all the students on the call, or even Nebraska Med folks that we have online, because employees can earn some well-being points for today's activity. A lot of what we do, especially students when you're studying, is kind of a biomedical model, right? You're learning the anatomy, the physiology, the chemistry and biology behind how everything works, and how we can then have effective interventions with our patients to help them have positive health outcomes. And that's amazing. We will continue to learn and hone those skills over your whole career. But what's really cool about today is that we get to dabble a little bit in traditions that have been around for thousands of years that allow us to explore maybe what's more called like complementary and alternative healing practices, or CAM, if you see that for short. And there's hundreds of different examples. We just picked 4 to share with you all today, okay? So this is gonna work a little bit differently than how we've done some in the past. We're gonna have 4 different presenters. We're gonna start off with Julie Brummer, who's gonna teach us a little bit about the power of deep breathing and some cognitive happiness hacks. We're gonna then transition to Karen Abboud. So Julie's our counselor. Karen is in the PTA department, and she's gonna share with us Reiki and the power of harnessing our energy. She's gonna then literally transition some of our energy to our next speaker, which is Linda Robichaud, who's one of our administrative assistants, senior administrative assistant, who's going to teach us a little about Tai Chi. And we get to do a little activity there. And then last but not least, we are going to conclude with, right here in front of me, Melissa in our compliance team. Look how interprofessional we are. She's gonna get us really up and moving with some Zumba, okay? So as you can see, we're starting from kind of the slower pace and building as we go. Now, in the room, we will get creative and spread out. We are all going to be friends by the end of this, so feel free to get comfy. Online for our at-home participants, I feel like the price is right if I had a prize. But you guys feel free to get up at your desk or your living room or wherever you are and get comfortable too. So with that, keep in mind, all of these activities today are things you can use for yourself, and you can make referrals or connections to the clients and patients that you serve, right? So this is really a holistic way of looking at healing from the individual to the community level, and we're happy to have you here. All right, Julie, you are first. The clicker is currently charging. Oh no. But I think we might be good, so let's try it. Oh no, yeah, you have a, yeah, okay, you can go up and down. Okay. Okay. Just scroll it where you want. Or if you want me to just. Oh, I gotta scroll. Is that right? You can, well, you can give me a PDF, not a PowerPoint. So you can tell me. And then that. Do you want me just to do it for you? Tell me you're ready?
Yeah, go to the next slide.
Okay. Hi.
Welcome. I don't know where I'm supposed to look, but anyway.
Just right there. Straight up.
Right here?
Yeah, see the camera?
Thanks for showing up in person and online. My name is Julie Brummer. As Sarah said, I'm one of the counselors here. I'm going to talk really, really fast. And for those of you who know me, when you saw that I was going to do a 10-minute presentation, we're like, no way. So I'm going to talk real fast. We're going to start with cognitive, and then we're going to end with a little bit of breathing and movement. These are some simple tools that I utilize a lot with the crisis situation sometimes, but they're definitely tools you can do all the time. And actually, if you make them part of your practice, it can be very transformative. Okay. So first of all, I just wanted to talk about the importance of, you have to address the whole person. When you're trying to deal with yourself, with whether it's negative feelings, whether it's stress, whether it's trauma. You have to deal with all of you. You don't get to just deal with this and just this. So it has to be an integrative approach, and you have to address both. Because sometimes the relationship that you have with yourself, the body may be a stronger connecting point, and sometimes you can move yourself into feeling better. And sometimes it's a more cognitive, depending on, so many factors. But you might be somebody who's a little bit more in your head, a little bit more cognitive approach is helpful. But if you only do that, you will eventually not feel long-term benefits from it because your body is still stuck. So you got to do everything. Okay. We're going to do cognitive first, and then we'll do a little bit of body. Okay. And by the way, none of this takes a long time. Like 4 minutes of deep breathing changes your physiology. We know that scientifically. 4 minutes is not a long time, but sometimes if you do it on a consistent basis, your physiology will start changing faster and faster because it will remember what it is it's doing, and your body wants to be in homeostasis, so it likes it. Okay. So go ahead, next slide. Okay,
I think
So-
it's working now. If you want that middle.
what's the middle one? How do I scroll it up though? See, it's,
It'll do it. Is it not scrolled down?
great, there goes a couple of seconds.
Sorry.
Okay. So real quick,
Deep breath.
when we're talking about the mind, it's important to just pay attention to your mind. So something I want to say about the power of the mind: trends, learned cognitions, and stress. So trends, what kind of thoughts are giving you the most problem? Are they obsessive thinking? Is it disruptive thinking? Is it intrusive thinking? It's really helpful to kind of identify those thought patterns that tend to throw you off balance the most. Okay. Also important to know is learned cognitions. How you were raised, the environment you were in, your experiences in life, how have they shifted your cognitions? Sometimes I work with students, and like their thinking has way more to do with somebody else's thought process than their own. And then the work becomes developing, what is my voice? What are my thoughts? How do I feel? What do I need? So knowing how your cognitions have been influenced is really important as well. If you are kind of a quieter person and you had a really aggressive, forceful upbringing, that's going to change the way you think. Okay. And then last, stress. Stress changes the way you think. Negative feeling, negative thoughts. Stress kind of gets in there and mixes everything up. Okay. All right, next slide. Okay. So here are some important things. One of the things we know that if you want to be unhappy, make sure to think these 3 Ps. So if you want to be unhappy, make sure to personalize everything. Make sure to make everything pervasive. The one wrong thing that goes wrong, make sure to make it pervasive. And lastly, and this is the biggest one, make sure that when you feel a negative way or you experience a negative situation, that you feel like it will always be this way, that it's permanent. Okay, so these are the 3 Ps of unhappiness. And we're going to get to the 3 Ps of happiness, how to flip the switch. Another thing to do though, before I talk about that, is always ask yourself when it comes to a negative feeling or a negative situation or a situation you dread, or even if you're low in confidence and you're walking into a situation like a test or clinicals or meeting with somebody, ask yourself, what can I control and what can't I control? You got to get clear in your mind with that. It's super important because so much of what upsets and disrupts our lives and our balance in life is we are constantly trying to control things that we have no control over, and we're not doing anything about the things we do have control. And then reversing the 3 Ps. So basically, when you have an uncomfortable situation and you are personalizing it, you are blaming yourself for the entire experience, which is never true. There are always extenuating and external factors involved in every experience. So you have to remind yourself if you're personalizing it, what are the other factors? This isn't all about me. Okay, pervasive. There are areas of your life that are good, that you're very successful with, that you're doing very well in. There are loves in your life that you have that are much more important than an experience that has to do with, even work and school. Your home life and your family and your friends are so much more important, okay? So everything, you have a bad experience, it's there. Find ways to contain it and let it be there. You'll actually learn more about it by doing that. When you make it pervasive, it's almost like the stress response. Some people freeze in it. So then no learning is going to be done when you freeze. And then some people just get so caught up and bogged down and heavy in the stress thinking, the fight flight response. No learning happens with the fight flight response. Okay. And then permanence. Nothing lasts forever. No matter how big of a deal it is to you, time does do some healing, by the way. What you do with that time allows for that. But nothing is permanent. Children grow up, jobs change, money changes, the weather changes. So nothing's permanent. All right. So now we're going to talk about happy moods. So those are just a few things cognitively that you can remember, but they're not bad things to actually incorporate in your way of life. We probably are all pretty, you guys, how many of you are familiar with impermanence? So there's a whole philosophy. Karen's like, I am. So there's a whole philosophy around impermanence. Buddhism is where it comes from. Positive psychology is deep in the belief of training yourself to acknowledge and be in a space of everything is impermanent. Okay. So it has a lot of ways of playing out in different kind of happiness, addressing happiness, psychology, coaching, stuff like that. Okay. So I need you to step a little away from the table, both feet on the floor, or I don't like it. You can rest your feet on that little ring there. I just need your feet to be grounded. Oh, you can stay seated for this one, sorry. You can stay seated, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you just to rest your hands on your lap. This is not a big deal. Don't feel like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. You're not doing it wrong. You can let your eyes close if you want, or you can keep them open, but then look down. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a big breath in, and I want you to exhale through the mouth. And I want you to do that like 2 more times, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And kind of exaggerate it to yourself. And then at some point, I'd like you to, when you exhale through the mouth, bring your lips together. And then inhale through the nose and exhale. The lips close. If you have to go back to exhaling through the mouth, go ahead and do that. This is called Ujjayi breathing. It has very profound effects on the central nervous system for a variety of reasons. Keep going. I want you to so you inhale through the nose, but eventually what you'd like to do is close your lips, but the jaw stays relaxed, the tongue stays relaxed, and you actually get to hear the sound of your own breathing. And when you do that, just keep breathing. When you do that, you get to pace out your breathing. You can start to play with it. Inhale longer, exhale longer. It's a very healing form of breathing. It's a super popular form in yoga, in breathing. But psychologically, there's been a lot of research with it, and just that sense of hearing your own voice. And then there's all sorts of dynamics that are going on in your throat that actually affect you on a physiological level. So Ujjayi breathing, it's a great breath, okay? Then open your eyes now, step away. These are 2 super easy things. These are great things to do if you're super anxious and you're walking into a test. So right, we have all these nerves, right? And it's all connected, the central nervous system. So we're gonna do things, we're gonna move the central nervous system, which helps preoccupy it. So you're not focusing on what was bothering you. So bring your elbows up, feet wide apart, toes forward, and I just want you to swing side to side. Get some movement in there. Swing, swing. So you can think of your spine and all the nerve endings around in your spine. Now, you can go a little faster if you want and see how that makes you feel. Yes. And then you can just slowly start to slow it down. And here's one thing I'm gonna say is everybody is smiling and then come to the middle. So, but what that does is a vagus nerve here, there's your phrenic nerve up here. You're moving these huge nerves, diaphragm, really important. You're getting the gunk out. Okay, the other one is bend your, oh, let's keep the knee straight. Let's keep the knee straight. Let's bring the feet shoulder width apart. And I want you just to alternate swinging your arms. And it is kind of fun to go. And you can speed it up or you can slow it down, see which one you like better. Then let's do a couple more. And then bring your arms down. Notice where your attention goes and notice how you feel. And are you worried? Are you thinking about anything that upset you or can upset you? Just kind of went away. That's the whole point of all this. Okay. Am I done?
You're good.
Should I do 10 minutes?
Did great.
Yes.
Yay, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you. No, you were perfect.
You want to advance? Some of them, this is not present.
I like this. I like this.
Yeah. I might.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on to our next one. So just a reminder in the room that we're live mics. So when our online participants are having trouble hearing the directions of the person leading the activity. So I love the energy and I love the giggles and the laughter and the breathing we did, which is great. I just want to make sure that they can also hear. The same thing I'll just ask, if we can try to keep the central aisle a little bit open, people can move to the back. That way online, they can also watch our presenter up front. So without further ado, Karen Abud, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. All right, everyone. I am a faculty in the PTA program, as Sarah had mentioned, and I'm here to talk to you about Reiki. I have my credentials up here. I actually took my level 1 Reiki back in 2018 and just kind of used it for myself. And then just this past October, I did a level 1 and 2 class, which I'll talk about the different levels coming up. So you can go ahead and advance. You have objectives for this, so be able to define and provide 2 benefits of Reiki, identify basic elements of a session, or at least know what to expect if you do a Reiki session. And then we're going to do some healing of your own energy as well. All right, so the introduction to Reiki, this is just kind of an overview. You can go to the next slide. Sorry, Sarah. I'll talk about what Reiki is and what Reiki isn't, because there might be some myths out there. I usually do a poll to see who even knows about Reiki, but it was 10 to 12 minutes and I'm going to try and use every 12 minutes that I have. So what Reiki isn't is it's not affiliated with any particular religion. It is a spiritual practice, but not related to a religion. And it's not a substitute for medical treatment. That's probably one of the biggest points, is that Reiki is complementary. And I have a slide with some conditions that may be precautions, but it's used to help. It can help reduce symptoms. It can help reduce pain. It can help with anxiety, mental conditions. There's really no limit to what it can do, but it's not a substitute for medical treatment. And it's not new, which I'll talk about in the history. So what Reiki is, Reiki, these are kanji. They're the ideograms that the Japanese use for their written language. And these are the Reiki symbols. This is the ancient one and what it's turned into when it was modernized. So same symbols, looks a little bit different. Reiki is broken down. Rei, or in Japan, they say Rai, means universal. You can see some other meanings that they came up with. And then Ki is energy or life force. So Ki can be similar to Qi, like in Tai Chi, or Qi and Qigong. Sometimes it's referred to as prana, a lot of different names for energy. Yep, go ahead and switch. So historical background, it's actually been used for thousands of years. It was developed from Tibetan healing practices. However, early on, there was nothing written about Reiki, what it was or how to do it. So Dr. Mikao Usui is recognized as kind of being the founder of that. They think that there was 4 people before him doing that, but he developed his process in 1922. And then through up until the 80s or in the 80s, it gained popularity globally, so it was being practiced nationwide. Ms. Takata is recognized for bringing it to westernizing it. She was from Hawaii. So these are 5 Reiki principles. It's kind of like a mantra or affirmation to help kind of center yourself and to help practitioners work ethically. I don't say this every day, but I try to just to kind of center myself, not worry about past, not worry about tomorrow. And so you'll see different languages or words, verbiage, but what I usually say is just for today, I will not anger, I will not worry, I will be grateful for my many blessings. I will do my work with honesty and integrity, and I will be kind to myself and every living being. So that's kind of how I say that. Switch. So these are the different levels. Level 1 is basic hands-on. So you would do that to kind of self Reiki, which is pretty much what I've done since 2018. And then level 2, you can do distance healing. So the person doesn't even have to be physically with you. You could still send Reiki distance. And then you also learn symbols that you can incorporate into your practice, which just makes it a little bit more powerful, incorporate it into your sessions. You can also charge for services at level 2. So I'm hoping to kind of make it a side business at some point and just kind of do it because I love it. Level 3, you learn additional symbols and advanced techniques. And at that level, you're able to teach other people. Master. Benefits and uses. Really anything, a lot of physical, emotional, mental, spiritual benefits that you can see here. There is a handout on the table by the sign-in sheet. If you didn't grab one, in this image is on there as well.
And we'll email it out to online participants
Thank you.
afterwards.
Thank you. So I'm not gonna, you can just read through that. Anyone can receive Reiki, adults, children, even for prenatal care, animals, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Everything that is a thing has energy. So we can work with Reiki or that universal energy force with anything. So other creative uses for Reiki, go ahead and hit it one more time. These are a lot of different ways that you can use Reiki. You can read through them. I'm not going to read all of them, but I have done it on my pets. I have done it on a plant that I had. I literally had a dead plant and I kept watering it. I talked to my plant, so I was talking to it as well, but I also gave it Reiki every now and then, and it's thriving. I can't say that it's just because of the Reiki, but it probably helped a little bit. And then I work with crystals, so I also give Reiki to my crystals. So really your imagination is what, you're only limited by your imagination. So this was the slide I talked about with some medical conditions that would be precautions. The main thing I just want to share here is that based on knowledge and research, there is no known medical contraindications to Reiki. You can't harm anybody with Reiki. It's a complementary tool, as I mentioned, and then individuals with acute conditions or severe conditions listed here may want to consult a healthcare provider before receiving any type of energy healing techniques. This is basically, it's not a replacement for it. Okay, so how it works, if you aren't familiar with Reiki or never had a session, it's known as administering by laying on of hands. Hands can be on the client or hovering over. The client is clothed, so it's not clothed, so it's not like massage where you have to disrobe anything. And then energy flows through the practitioner, and so they serve as a channel. And so because as a practitioner, I am a channel for the energy, the client receives healing and I also receive healing as well while I do it. And the energy is guided by spiritual consciousness. So as I mentioned, you can't harm anybody with it. Anywhere, there are hand placements that I will do on a client, but wherever they need healing the most, their spiritual consciousness will take that energy and do it wherever it's needed. So even if you're not in pain or you're skeptical and you receive Reiki, it's going to work on you regardless. And then it continues after the sessions. So depending on how long your session is, it can last up to a couple hours afterwards or up to a couple days. And then it helps balance the actual body with organs and tissues. It helps with the energy centers, such as the chakras and meridians, as well as your aura. So energy goes through all of that. And next one. These are just some ways that you can experience Reiki. You can find a licensed practitioner or certified practitioner, attend a conference, or take a workshop. The first time I received it, I actually went to a health expo thing, and there was somebody providing free 15-minute Reiki sessions, and I had heard of it, but never received a treatment. Nowadays, I don't see anybody giving that away for free at those conventions, but it changed me afterwards. And so I was like, that something's different about that. That works on a different level. So that is what kind of caused me to look into it more and want to become certified. So the process, so preparation. So if some of you do meditation, you might already be familiar with these hand positions, but the practitioner will prepare themselves for treatment. So Gasho is the first one, which means two hands together. So we start with a folded hand position over the chest, and it clears the mind and opens the heart. So this is when I would just kind of center myself and ground myself to be ready for Reiki. And then it goes to Reijiho, which is bringing the hands where your thumbs are touching your third eye, which is the chakra right in the middle of your forehead. And that is when I connect to accept the Reiki energy. And then Shiryo means treatment, and that's the actual Reiki session that I would do with the client. So these are elements of a Reiki session of what you could expect. First, the practitioner will prepare the environment. For me, I would ground myself. I would clear any energy of the room, make sure the client is comfortable as far as setup, laying down, sitting, anything like that. And then ground and center both myself and the client first. I go through my Gasho and Reijiho to start the session. And then a biosyn scan is basically kind of waving over the body to kind of sense the aura, sense any energy. What I usually feel when I do scans is an area will feel more dense. And so that's kind of my sign that that's where I want to go and focus on. But even if I focus there, that energy may want to go elsewhere in the body. Thank you. And then the treatment, the practitioner will incorporate any symbols as part of that. Use the hand placements. At the end, we always ground the client at their feet and seal that energy in so that it continues to work. And then Kenyoku is a dry bath, and we do the client first, and that is just a cleansing of any stale or energy that was released, and we just wash it away. So we do the client, finish in Gasho, and then Kenyoku on the practitioner. So a dry bath on myself where I would just clear everything off, wipe it away. Okay. So sessions typically last 30 to 60. The handout says 60 to 90. So it just varies. Any Reiki is better than no Reiki. I was giving myself Reiki in the chair here. Just as just as they were talking. So it can be done in person or distance. And then there's different sensations that one can feel. Sometimes they don't feel anything, but it can be a warmth sensation. They can feel warmth from the hands of the practitioner. Sometimes what I feel is energy that just kind of flows through the body. I can just kind of feel it moving. It kind of feels like what I would describe as restless leg syndrome, but everybody feels something a little bit. Okay, so we are going to experience our own energy. So energy is a vital force that flows through us and around us, as I mentioned, with all of our chakras, auras, meridians. And so I'm going to have you guys, I have one more slide after that. So techniques to feel energy. We did some breathing, placing hands on different body areas, and breath control that Julie talked about. So that was great. And anyone can learn Reiki because energy is all around us and through us. So what I'm gonna have you do is sit up nice and tall. You can stand if you want. If you're in a position you want to lay down, you can lay down. I'm just gonna have you take a deep breath in and out. One more in and out. Okay, we're going to put our hands together, palms together, and we're going to kind of set up our body to kind of feel movement of energy. So relax your fingers, relax your wrists. We're just going to tap our fingers together for 20 seconds. I'm not counting, so I'll just listen. All right, next, what we're going to do is have our palms up and out. This, and we're going to shake them back and forth for 20 seconds, kind of like jazz hands. Oh, you should take a picture of this. It's fun. All right, we're going to keep going so she can get a picture. All the energy that's moving. Okay, now you're going to put your hands together like you're holding an imaginary ball, and you're going to focus on the space between your palms. And you can bring it in or out and see what you sense, if anything. Some of you might not be able to feel it, and that's perfectly okay. What you're feeling for is a change of sensation or something different. If you feel something between your palms, you can bring your hands out and in and kind of grow your ball and feel how the energy changes. What I feel is kind of a magnetic pulse, or like a magnet repelling one another, and I can just kind of feel the energy in that ball. I'm pretty sensitive to energy, so I can make my ball, but I still feel my ball out here. So you can make it as big or as small as you want. And then what you can do with that energy is place it on any body part that is fatigued or painful or that you want to focus on. I will sometimes do a ball and release it into the air when I do sessions to clear the space or the room. I'm going to have you guys work with your ball, keep working it in and out, and hold on to it. I've got one more slide there. So just some ethics and research on Reiki. Similar to medical practice, you need to get consent, maintain confidentiality, and all that. With research, there is limited scientific evidence. And so as of July of last year, there was about 140 research studies done. However, most of them were considered weak studies, or they had a small N number, like less than 20. Some only had like 2 to 3. So the evidence isn't great, but one study did show that Reiki is better than the placebo. And surprisingly, it's used in hospitals nationwide, some more so than others. I would love to see it used more in the hospitals in our areas as well. I don't know if it is or not. I think that's it. Any questions for that? Probably right at 12.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So keep your energy
Keep your
ball, and
energy
we're going to
ball.
transition for our next. So thank you, Karen.
Yes, keep your ball. And Linda is going to go into Tai Chi, and we're going to move our energy.
Hard to clap.
I got my ball.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You're ready.
Hi, welcome to my Tai Chi class. I'm so glad you're here. And just to follow up with what Karen did, and it's breathing is what Tai Chi is about. And this form that I'm going to do is called the Yang style, and it goes back thousands of years from China. And I actually was certified in 2011, and I've practiced since then everywhere. Currently, I teach for Wings of Hope, which is a cancer survival thing in Council Bluffs. And Tai Chi is just great because it involves breathing and it's relaxation, and it gives you work with balance. So instead of bringing some fun slides, I have music to share with you guys. So it's going to give you strength and coordination, and it's also going to help reduction in falls. So a lot of older people, I don't know what that would be, but they take Tai Chi, and it helps with balance falls. And especially one that I want to recommend, especially this winter time, is called the Tai Chi walk. And you know how it gets icy outside? If you step, remember, you're probably all too young for this, but there's a Groucho Marx. Remember Groucho Marx? There's a walk called Groucho Marx walk, where you're going to kind of relax your body, and you're going to step forward with your heel, kind of in a stoop position. And you're gonna feel your weight shift. You're gonna feel how steady you are in your feet here, so. That is a great thing to do outside, snow mounting. All right, so let's go ahead and start. We're gonna do a couple short forms.
You want people to stand up?
Yes, if you would all stand up, that'd be great. On the aisles or whatever, you need a little bit of room. So we're gonna first of all, step out with your foot, shoulder width apart, okay? And we're gonna just shake your body. We're gonna shake it. We're gonna shake off the tension. Let go of all thoughts and bring energy to the center of your body. That's it. Good. Feel like a dog shaking the water off the shower. Shakers and everything.
Right.
Okay, and then we're going to stop. We're going to bring our feet a little closer together. And we're going to do what's called wave hands like cloud. So we're going to step closer with my feet. And with Tai Chi, the Yang style that I'm going to teach you guys, it's a longer, slower movement. It's the most popular style of Tai Chi that's around. So I'm going to step out wide with my left foot. My left hand's going to pretend I'm reaching out toward a flower on the side of my body. And I'm going to bring that flower toward my nose like I'm smelling it. I'm going to lunge over to that left leg. Palm's going to sweep down toward that left knee. Right hand's going to sweep across. You're going to reach, you're getting that flower from your neighbor. And we're going to shift our weight back over to the right leg. Smell that flower. The hand release down. Again, this is called wave hands like cloud. And Tai Chi is this form, is this very slow, slow movement, not rushing. Like I said, you're going to inhale as you come up. And exhale as you release the hand down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And one more time. Right. All right. Next, we're going to do turn body, look at moon, which is also called a ward off. So if you get my center here, I'm going to step again, left foot kind of at a 90-degree angle. Stepping with my heel first, rocking to the ball of my foot to my toe. My arms are going to sweep across. And I'm going to look back, lift the back heel up. I'm looking at the moon. And we're going to then take that back leg, step back down on it. Pretend that you have a dance partner. And you're holding that dance partner here. Okay. Take your right hand. You're going to press your fingertips into your wrist. And we're going to, again, lunge toward that left leg, pressing forward. We're going to open our arms here. Come back into your chest. Then we're going to push forward. Do this 3 times. So rock back. Palm into your wrist. Press. Take it back. And push. Can you hear my music a little bit? And come back. Press. Open up. And then we're going to scoop around to the front. Bring that toe straight in front of you. Hands are going to come down to your thigh. Repeat on the other side. So I'm ready to angle my right foot toward 90 degree. Sweep the hands up. Look at the moon. Bring the hands back down into your dance partner. Press into your wrist. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Then we're going to bring in our foot. That's the start of the first short form, and we're going to build on to that. Keep me walking for time, Sarah.
Doing great.
So we're going to again do our openings. So step a little bit shoulder width apart. Knees are soft. We're going to pretend that we're sleepwalking. So we're going to bring our arms up, inhale up. Elbows are relaxed, hands relaxed. And then we're going to exhale down. Do this 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Step in. Pretend you're holding that energy ball here in your hand now. You were taught by Karen. And then we're going to do the wave hands like cloud. Stepping to the right. And sweeps up. Then we're going to step in with the right leg this time. So we're just adding a little step movement, which we do step out. As the hand reaches in, you're gonna step back in. Go back the other direction. Squeeze. Wave hands like cloud. Back in. One more time. And hold that energy ball again. So you're gonna have your weight on your right leg. Left toe's gonna be up toward the arch of your foot. We're going to do the ward off again to the left. Stepping out. Look at the moon. Okay. Now this time we're going to pretend that you're going to bring your hands down, like think about a horse's mane, as it's called, part of the horse's mane, as you slide the hands down back of the horse's neck. And then we're going to go back to our presses again. Press. And open back up. And push. Back in. And press. And one more time on this side. Push. And come back in. Bring your arms down, up. Hold the ball on your left side. Same ball, there you go. Step out with the right and look at the moon again. Part the horse's mane as you slide the hands down very gently. Back to your presses. Got your dance partner there. This is very good Tai Chi. The slow movement, as you can see, also works on your balance, right? One more time with the presses. And out. And back into center. Okay, so now we're going to add onto that, but you know, those little movements. One more minute. Oh, okay. Right. So we're going to do our open again. We'll just do one of these. Okay. Wave hands like cloud to the left, to the right, left. And then we're going to do what's called white crane flashes as wings. And I want to say it's called ta-da. Got it. And then we're going to just bring our weight forward on that front leg. And we're going to brush past that knee. Brush past the other knee. Brush past. And we're going to do what's called ward off the monkey. So we're going to with one right leg back. Sitting back to the left leg. Up. Back. And back. Then we go back into the, how we doing, Sarah? Good. Right. One more of them. Look at the moon. And sweep it down. I'm gonna do one on each side just to kind of cut it off short. Back in. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Okay, come back to the other side. We're going to step out. Part the horse's mane. Press. Back in. Then push. And then we have what's called the single whip. So we're going to pretend you have a dirty diaper here. So I want to describe it. And we're going to lunge to the right, that diaper. Bring the hand down. And we're going to wave hands again like cloud to the right 3 times. I'll be out of range here. No, you're good. Okay, and then we're going to take up that sticky diaper again. In front. Bring your feet together. To 2, ward off the monkeys. Pulse the monkey. Then we're going to come back to center. Like Karen said, we're going to bring energy back here. Inhale and exhale. Great job, guys. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I feel like I'm relaxed just watching everyone do it. We have now Melissa to share with us some Zumba. And I have a link here that she wanted me to pull up, so I'll get that. Over. Do you want me to pull up the link first? Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Do that.
For those who don't know me, I'm Melissa. I'm in the technical compliance. When I'm not working, I teach Zumba. So Zumba, it's a dance fitness format, Latin inspired. So we have music from all over the world. I teach at Genesis Health Clubs in Omaha, Exurban location in Bassa. And we also do like Zumba in the park, like during the spring and summertime. So if you guys ever need like a Zumba time or want to try it out, let me know. Yeah, and this is the website. Let's see. So you can, like, if let's say you put like a zip code or something, you want to find a Zumba instructor in your area. Just put Omaha, yeah. doesn't matter. Yeah. So then you'll find like the instructors' names and where they teach and the time.
Wow.
So yeah, if you ever wanna find Zumba class in your area, you can just navigate the website pretty much. Yeah, so for the sake of time, we're probably gonna do like a move with a song. Cause a class usually between 30 to an hour, depending what you're having, so when I play a song, I'll probably show you like a step or two. No pressure.
No judgment either. It's just all willing participation.
All right, so left, 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 left. Now go faster. A second. Get up a little bit. All right, there. Oh. It's hard on carpet. And a little in general. Yeah, so. There you go. That's pretty much it. So in a normal class, I don't use a mic, I just cue the moves. So, cause when you talk on the mic, it takes away the feel of the music or choreography, so. Yeah, I mean, if you ever wanna do some Zumba on campus. Or just have me know.
You wanna have it go a little bit longer so people can
Yeah, I was.
can do a little more experiential? Okay, and then, yeah, we still have time, and then we'll go maybe like another 2 minutes, because I think 2 minutes of Zumba is like a 20-minute other workout, because it's really good. But then if you're online in the room, don't leave, because I'm gonna pull up the evaluation, and I do wanna leave time for questions too for our 4 presenters, so another minute or two, Lisa, would be great. I'll get the music going. There we go. I think your smile alone makes me feel better. Best smile.
You can go back and forth, whatever. If you wanna add the shoulders too, add your little flavor. Yeah. Or if you wanna, put the salsa. Or if you wanna turn around too, that works. You know, keep the heart moving, you know? A little shimmy too, if you want.
That's okay.
Alright. I would show more, but, but this is like a sample of steps that we would incorporate.
Oh, that's fantastic. I do want to pull up too. So this is just the evaluation. So whether you're in the room or online, there's the QR code as well as the actual URL there. If you need, if you could give us feedback. But while people are doing that, let's open it up to questions. If you have questions for any of our 4 presenters, if you guys want to just kind of come up front where the camera is so that everyone can see you. Anybody tried some of these different techniques before or willing to give it a go after today's little activities? Gretchen, go ahead.
Learning more about. Say it again.
Reiki.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot to say that I have participated in some of the relaxation stations, so.
Yeah.
We'll bring someone else on usually, so there's 2 of us and do like 15-minute sessions, so hopefully I can continue to do that.
Absolutely. Anybody online too, you're welcome to take yourself off mute or. I think one thing that's nice too, just to kind of bring it all together, because these are very different approaches. And so as you were participating, just to realize that you feel different ways doing it. But the big thing is it all comes back to being able to effectively handle stress, right? We all have different triggers, things that maybe set us off, and being aware of that, I think, is a large part of what these types of healing activities do, is they increase our self-awareness, our ability to reflect. So if we notice our stress level rising or certain things that are kind of getting us, set off, we can stop that earlier. We could do some deep breathing in the moment. We could do some energy harnessing and build a little energy ball. We could do a few Tai Chi movements. And if we've got a lot of energy, boy, we can bust out some Zumba moves. But it doesn't have to be a long session. Like Julie said, 3-4 minutes can make all the difference. So if nothing else after today, we hope that you've left with some really cool, fun ways. Maybe they're new, maybe they're things you've done before, but these are also things, like we said, you can share with your patients or your coworkers or clients, your family members. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. If there's any last questions, let us know. Otherwise, you're welcome to reach out to me, Sarah Flanagan, with questions, and I'd be happy to connect you with any of our four presenters by personal email if you wanted to follow up with them separately. So thank you.
Curious
Yeah.
if anyone would like to share what they thought about the energy ball, if they've never felt it, if it was their first time, or if they didn't feel anything, if anyone would like to share their own experience.
I was surprised because I actually did feel it,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I've done your session before, and I don't always feel it.
Mhm.
That was kind of surprising and good.
Yeah. That's great, Chris. Thank you. Anybody else?
This is the best session. I feel like I want to do each one of these individually.
Yeah, no, that's great feedback. And Julie and I were talking before, actually, with all 4 of them I was, and I'm saying, based on how today goes with the feedback you guys share, maybe we could offer a full hour on, each of these, or 30 minutes on each of these. So we can certainly look at that for the future. That's great feedback. Amanda.
I'm specifically interested in the Tai Chi
Tai Chi?
because we spend so much time sitting at our desks, and I'm even just thinking, like, you might catch me on the 5th floor and randomly in the hallway doing a couple of those moves. Just like I feel like I'm flowing a lot better. Like my blood flows, as opposed to just sitting still and like starting to bloat because you're swelling from just sitting there with all this liquid in you.
And that's the thing with the Tai Chi, you can do all these movements sitting down.
No, yeah, see, yeah, so very, yeah.
Amanda, I was gonna say Tai Chi to my office. We'll just go down the hall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. Dana?
I've taken my Lisa's class out at Turner Park, and it's really, really good. But we should do it towards the end of the day so it can be stinky.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sweaty.
So if you get sweaty, you can
Yeah.
do it at the end of the
I'm very
workday.
excited. Oh, I know.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. So one thing I thought of too that I usually mention at the beginning is for students in the room or online, if you're wanting to use this for one of your IPE activities, it could count for knowledge or community. Because again, we want you to be aware of what's out there to help connect people with what they need. Just make sure you turn that reflection in right away, right? It's currently a 90-minute, that would be really fast. A 90-day deadline, but it's going to be moving to 30 coming here this fall. So in the next couple of days, while it's fresh, if you want to use this for credit, that's great. If not, I'm glad that everyone else came anyway, because we love having you at all of these different events, different activities, and we are in the time of year where we're planning for next year. So if something really stands out and you want us to consider it, please put that on that evaluation so we have the information when we bring it back to the larger group. So again, thank you, everyone. We'll get this posted online. So if you are ever in need of a pick-me-up and you have that little 5-10 minutes in your office, you can come find this on the IPE website, click play, and scroll ahead to whichever of those 4 techniques you want to try and enjoy the moment. So thank you, everyone.
Fine.
And our prize winner is student Bridget. There we go. Thanks, Bridget.